Welcome to Dobby's Repairs. I'm Dobby the Fixing Elf, and this is what's in my toolbox, the series where I show you the tools I use to repair cars and fix things. So let's find out what's in my toolbox today. And in this installment, inside this lovely little case, we have the ANENG 681 Smart Multimeter. So inside the case, it's a really nice case to talk about first. Let me just quickly adjust the camera because it's a bit the best I can get. And so you get your storage for your cables, more on those in a minute. Get your multimeter itself, and we'll pull it out quickly. So this multimeter itself, it is USB-C rechargeable, so just behind here is where you charge it, and it takes your standard USB-C lead. It does come with one. And full disclosure, I've never actually used this lead because I normally just use my phone charging lead, my phone under USB-C, or one of the many other USB-C chargers I have around the house, in the car, etc. So I haven't actually used this one, but it's USB-A to USB-C, and it takes a couple of hours to charge. Pretty good. I'll put it back in now, I'll leave it out of the way for a minute. And then back onto the actual tool itself, it's got an on button, got a light on a little flashlight on the top here. You've got a little non-contact voltage tester, so like if you're doing mains. So that's pretty good. Works fairly effectively. It does need to be set onto a separate mode. Let's just turn it on. And here's the screen, and it works fairly well. It does catch the light, but it's really quite readable without the light on. If you turn the light on, then it brightens up quite nicely, and it's really easy to see. Obviously the only drawback is the torch is on the whole time the screen's on, and it does affect the battery life. Just bear that in mind when you're doing it. It's got an auto mode, which is quite nice. Let me turn it off hold for a second. Got voltage, ohms and resistance and continuity on one. And then you get another more ohms. And then you got your EF, that's for your non-contact. So if you go near some electrics, I don't know if you can hear that on the camera, but it does beep, and this light flashes red as well if you haven't got the torch on. And then we've got a live mode, and then we've got a temperature mode. It does come with a temperature probe, it's one of them K-type temperature probes. God, that was difficult for me to say. And you've got Fahrenheit and Celsius in temperatures, and you've got hertz as well. We'll keep on auto for now and grab out the leads. So these are the leads it comes with, and they are really quite nice leads. Got a really nice soft flexible silicone, I'm going to say, multimeter leads. And to put your leads in, just at the bottom here you have your standard 3 ports that you have on most multimeters. So this far side is the amps. It's rated up to 10 amps DC, I believe. Yep, maximum 10 amps per over 10 seconds. Yeah. And then your standard red lit spot for your measuring, and your common, which is where you keep your black lead. The black goes to common, red goes to this side, and auto mode works quite well. I also do like that it gives you the temperature on the screen as well, so that's quite good. It's not accurate when you haven't got the probe in, but it is quite good. And here's our battery. Let me just use this and make it a bit easier for you to see. Just a standard AA battery, and yeah. And as you can see, automatically selects what you've got in and the voltage in it. Not a bad battery. Obviously then you can move over to the resistances. I should point out, just going back to the leads, this is the sort of standard lead you get with the keeper multimeter. They're really quite hard, and as you can see with this one, it's really flexible. These are the ones that come with the other ANENG multimeter that I reviewed not too long ago. But this is definitely a superior meter to that. And yeah, so we'll just show you quickly resistance. So let me grab a resistor, if I can find one. There we are. Have one off the screen, and yeah. So for resistance, same sort of thing. Pop it on, pop it around, and you get your resistance. There we are. It adjusts quite quickly to what you're doing. Hopefully that'll bring there yet. Not bad. How accurate it was. what are these resistors when they're at home. I can't tell, but if you let me zoom in. Try and get a focus on this resistor for you so you can see what it is, but it's not going to work, so let's abandon that. Obviously it comes with little protectors, and again, one more thing about these leads, they come with a really fine point, which is quite nice. Let me see if I can zoom in and get that in shot, just so you guys can see it. Yeah, really thin little leads, perfect for back probing things. I mean, these ones do it, but they are quite thick. They normally need a different adapter. It takes your standard 4mm banana plugs. They're pretty good. They are sleeved. I don't think you can fit other types of leads on it. Let me just quickly see. Well, they go in, so that's means you can use multiple different leads with it, so that's nice. Let's just see if your continuity works. It does. And it's got quite a nice buzzer to it too, that's always nice. Yeah, you can use this style lead as well as the leads that come with it, so useful to know if you've got different leads set up for different jobs. I tend to have a couple of different leads set up, some with crocodile sort of battery clips on for clipping the batteries, especially with the ground one. Normally I have it sort of a ground clamp on here and clamp it on, so you haven't got to look for a ground all the time. And let's probe the positive. So let's show you how you put it onto temperature now. So you can do it on the auto screen at the front here. Grab out your K-type probe, and again, red goes in one side, black goes in the other side. Zoom back out, and it does make a beep on here because it's detecting resistance because of this. And as you warm it up, the resistance will change, but let's quickly get off that one, that's really annoying. And there's our resistance, it's 30 because I've had it in my hand. If I let it go, it will start to cool down. Pick up more of the temperature of the room. It's quite hot. So you squeeze it and it goes up in temperature, so it works quite well. And these are great for checking like coolant temperatures and things like that. And again, they fit in really nicely. I don't know what happens if you put it the wrong way around. Let's find out. Oh, does it even want to go in there? It does go in there eventually. Doesn't make any difference to it. Instead of going up, it goes down. Interesting. Yeah, so make sure you get your leads the right way around. If you're getting weird temperature readings, that could be your thing, your problem. But overall, it's really good. You also can read amps with it as well. Again, you set that up in a specific way. I will show you right now. So let me quickly go back to auto for a second, because that's the easiest mode. So if you were going to check amperage with this, you stick your red probe in this side and your black probe in the middle, and that's how you check amps. So look, it's on DC amps now, and I like the fact that it automatically detects what you're trying to do. So if you take this out and go in here, it will detect your voltage. And again, you read AC with this as well as DC, so really useful. You've also got capacity on here, which is another really useful little feature. That's just on this button on the side, so there's 3 buttons on the side. I should have seen this earlier, but so you get your select button that flips you through all the menus, your hold button and your light button. So you press this button, you can hold a reading, which is quite good. That button, if you long hold it, it turns it off, and it turns on a little flashlight on the front. It's fairly bright as well, this little flashlight. And then you've got like your capacity button here, which is really useful. I haven't actually used too much of the capacity mode, but it's quite useful. Let me turn it back on, it's useful to have. Especially if you're doing other stuff, the stuff I use it for normally. You don't need to worry about capacity. Drop everything on the floor, because that's always the best way for that, and not the camera at the same time. Grab this up. I don't think I've got any capacitors nearby to show you the capacity mode and everything. But again, it's a useful feature to have. And like I said, you can flip through all the different modes. And you have, for instance, diode mode as well. Continuity, which is that one there. And again, got a little gauge as well. So to detects your ranges for you automatically, so you haven't got to select the ranges, which is really quite handy. And it's got a live mode, like I said before, and obviously the temperature, if you have any temperature it's not plugged in, but there we are. And yeah, really handy for stuff. And the beautiful feature with the whole button when you're doing hertz, obviously there's no real hertz here, just detecting the internal hertz. You hold it at a certain point, so it's quite useful for checking signals and stuff like that. It's fairly fast and reliable. But yeah, that's the rundown of the meter. Let me just quickly turn that off. There we go. And it turns off really easy. It's also got an auto time off, I believe. Normally I always make sure to turn it off. I should probably double check that. Bear with me 2 seconds. I believe it does automatically turn off after a few minutes, but don't quote me on that. I have never literally left it. Normally I'm using it and I turn it off when I finish, but sometimes you always let me forget, so it would be useful if it does an auto time off. So we'll find out, and I'll come back and give you my final thoughts. And I'm back after reading the instruction manual. It does come with a rather useful instruction manual. I did have to find out, it was in my pile of manuals. But yeah, after 15 minutes, this will automatically power off, which is pretty good. Means you're not going to run the batteries down, and explains why I haven't run the batteries down as often as I thought I would. So now I'm going to move on to my final thoughts. Just before I do, if you found this video helpful, informative, or you just enjoyed my content, please drop a like. I release Toolbox videos every week and repair videos as often as I can. You may see some of my repair videos, and I have a whole playlist on diagnostic tools like this. So I'll put a link in the description or in the pinned comment for you guys to find. And yeah, we're going to move on to my final thoughts now, as I said. And we're going to give this lovely tool a 4-spanner rating, so 4-spanner will pop up as always. And the reason for that is it's really nice, I really enjoy using it. There's a few gripes I have, the one being that you can't light the screen up without turning on this little torch. And sometimes it can be a bit slow, but overall, for the price and the usability of it, it's definitely well worth picking up, and that's why it gets a 4-spanner rating. And a huge thank you to my Fixing Club members, Mako, Rodney, Jason, Sebi and Mr. R. Thank you all for support, it really helps me and the channel out. Thanks for watching. If you found this video helpful or entertaining, don't forget to hit that like button, it really helps both the channel and me out. If you're new here, consider subscribing. I post 2 videos a week, so by subscribing you'll never miss a thing. Got any questions or suggestions? Drop a comment down below, and I'll do my best to reply to everyone. Here at Dobby Repairs, we're all about helping you learn how to work on your vehicle safely and showing you don't need to spend a fortune on tools to get the job done. Want to support the channel further? Become a member, starting at just 99p. Members get perks like early access to videos and more exclusive content. Keep fixing, and I'll see you in the next one.